Hello, everybody! Mr. Fun coming from his kitchen once again to answer all of your fantastic questions. Happy Monday, people! Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Mine was pretty good until Saturday night when I was cooking. I had chicken breast, wrapped it up with bacon, I put it on the propane grill. It was cooking just fine until the bacon fat started melting away and dripping down. And once it hit a flame, poof, big, huge fireball. I mean, it was an inferno. It nearly burned down the house. It nearly burned off my eyebrows, too. It was ridiculous. Chicken was completely ruined. I mean, I blackened it, burnt it to a crisp. Ruined meal. Just awful. The moral of the story, I'm no longer allowed to be around fire. At least for a while. Whoops. Let's answer some of those questions. Mark asks me, how many pets have you had? Well, I'm not going to count fish or birds or turtles or anything like that. I have had those, but those I'm just not going to count. When I was a kid, I had two cats. One cat's name was Robbie. The other cat's name was Pooh. Her name really was Pooh. She was a Pooh cat. Love that cat. Cat hated me, but I liked her. And then we got a dog. Her name was Gabby. Gabby was mean. I mean, she hated people. She loved us, but hated everyone else. She was a barkless dog, too. It's called a Basenji. And then shortly after Christy and I got married, sadly, Gabby passed away. But we got a new dog, same breed, and her name was Lady. And then once we started having kids, it was kind of unfair to keep her around because we really couldn't devote that much time to her. So we gave Lady to my parents. A couple of years go by after that, we decided to give the dog thing a try again, and we got a dog named Blue. Blue was a pain in the rear end. She would eat the house. Literally eat the house. Ridiculous. Someone told us, well, the way to calm down a dog is to give that dog a friend, a second dog. And we're like, okay, give that one a try. So we got a second dog to go with Blue. That dog's name was Jack. Made it worse. Now they're both eating the house. We got rid of those dogs, gave them to friends, and then we didn't have dogs for a while until we got Sally. So that's where we're at now. We have Sally. Sally's a really, really good dog. Smelly dog, but she's a good dog. Hope that answers your question. That was fun, and it took up a lot of time. Bella asks me, Bella with the question of the day, because it's a hypothetical. I love hypothetical questions. Bella asks me, if you were stuck on an island, who would you be stuck with? Well, legally, I have to say my wife. But it also is the actual truth. Christy is the one person that's able to put up with me for more than 30 seconds. So really it would be her. But somehow I don't think you mean her. I think you mean someone famous. So thinking about it for a second, I would go with Tom Hanks. Why? Because one, he seems really nice. He seems really cool. He just seems like a good guy. He's funny. But most importantly, he's been stuck on an island before, Castaway. He's been lost in space, Apollo 13. He's been stuck in the middle of the ocean before, with nothing but suitcases. Joe versus the volcano, great film. So I would go with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, I think, would be a great person to be hanging out with. I don't think that he'd say the exact same thing about me, but since it's my pick, I would pick Tom Hanks. The actor. He's funny. I like his stuff too. Great actor. Great question too. Fiona asks me, who is your favorite country singer? Florida Georgia Line. I don't really understand the question. Florida Georgia Line is, of course, a country band, somewhat recent. They've been around for 5 years or more, a little bit more than that, I guess. And they've got some hit songs like Cruise and Holy and This Is How I Roll. I don't really like their stuff. It's just not for me. It's too hokey, campy, poppy. And if they were to show up at my door, I would have no idea who they were. I would think that they're like selling me something. I mean, and that goes for like Jason Aldean, Luke Combs, Luke Bryant, Chris Stapleton, like those guys. Anyone from Rascal Flatts, anyone from Big and Rich. I mean, if they were at my door, I would have no clue who they were. So who is my favorite country singer? Kenny Rogers. That's who it would be. Great singer. Also, rest in peace. He just passed away a couple days ago, maybe about a week or so ago. He's got great songs such as The Gambler. He's got The Greatest, Islands in the Stream with Dolly Parton. And kind of one of those songs which I really don't think about, but I do like it. Love Will Turn You Around. Other people who I would pick, George Strait, Garth Brooks. Older people, not that much older, but, classics, for sure. So I would go with them before I would pick anyone today. Like, today's stuff to me is just not very good. Hope that answers your question. Love will turn you around, turn you around. I'm a horrible singer. Francisco asks me, what is yours? And then he ends it there. So it's not really a question. And since it's not a question, I'm going to think of my own. Who is my favorite actor?
Smells like victory.
That guy right back there. In hit plays such as Peter Pan, Aladdin, and soon to be young Simba, Patrick Funke.
Yeah.
And he's got great dance moves too. One other actor who I absolutely love, John Candy. His stuff is great. You guys, if you've not seen movies such as Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Great Outdoors, watch them. His stuff is so good. They're really enjoyable. They're really fun. Almost all of his stuff is PG, so I think your parents should like it too. He is funny, and those films are great. I could watch them again and again and again. Uncle Buck is awesome. Hope that answers my question. It was a good one. Kingston asks me, have you met any famous people? Well, as you guys probably know by now, I've worked in the sports TV world for such a long time. So most of the people who I got to meet were famous sports people, When I worked at Fox Sports Southwest, I worked around the ex-Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer, Randy White. That was fun. Nate Newton, Troy Aikman came to our place again and again. Mark Cuban has come by again and again. He wasn't on Shark Tank at that time, and I wish he was, because my Bubba Funk Spicy Jelly would have been perfect for that show. But probably the best story I have when I used to live in LA, because, you always see famous people there, but I'm not I don't go gaga over famous people of any sort. It's just not my style, not my type. Maybe with a slight exception of Roger Federer. But when I was working in LA, I was working as an intern at KTLA, and the guy that I was telling you about, Ed Arnold, was showing me at this Lakers game, showing me how the whole entire business works, and I was kind of learning off of him. And he's there, and he was famous in LA. So people from LA know him. And so we're at this game, Lakers game, and a guy comes walking up to him. And he just starts going, Ed Arnold, you are so great. Your nightly broadcast on sports is great. I just love all your stuff. And Ed had no idea who this person was. So he wasn't being rude, but he's like, okay, I've done this again and again and again, So he signs an autograph for this person. He takes a picture with this person, and then the person leaves. And we go up to Ed and we go, do you know who that was? And he goes, no, who? And we all said, that was Tom Cruise, like world famous actor, blockbuster movies. And he's like, really? He was like completely shocked. So that was funny. When I worked at Fox Sports Southwest, you're working around people that were on the Dallas Stars and other teams. And I had a show dealing with the Dallas Stars. And one of the persons and who I worked with was this guy that was on the 1999 NHL championship Dallas Stars team named Craig Ludwig. And he's a guy that I would text again and again. I would call him up to talk about the show. Well, one day the American Airlines Center was kind of doing a, celebration for that team that won the championship, and he was a part of that team. So I kind of got to meet famous hockey players such as like Brett Hull and Mike Modano, people like that. And then they're all out there on the ice, Hull fans, the crowd is sold out, and then his name gets called. And now defenseman Craig Ludwig. And the whole place goes crazy. They start cheering, they start yelling, they start chanting his name, Luds, 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 Luds. And I'm like, wow, this is a guy who I talk to like each week. And I call him up and he calls up me and we text back and forth. And I mean, this is a guy I work with. It never really occurred to me that he's such a famous person here in town for the hockey world. And so, at the time I didn't really think much of it. But looking back, I was like, yeah, you really do get to meet some famous people. I got to meet the Big Show before. He really is big. Cool ones also include like Randy Macho Man Savage, who I used to love as a kid. Like that type of stuff at the time, you're working, you don't really think much, but looking back, it really is neat. So, yeah, I have actors and people like that, but I mean, you don't think about it at the time, and so it's kind of a shame, I guess. But to answer your question, yes, I have. Roberto asked me, would you rather eat cookies or ice cream? I can only pick one. If I only can pick one, cookies. Chocolate chip cookies. In fact, I made a batch last night. I had to fight off the kids for them, or they had to fight me for them. Made a second batch tonight. So chocolate chip cookies by far. I'm a chocolate chip cookie guy. Hope that answers your question. And Sophia asks me a great one. Who is your hero and why? I don't really have a hero, which I have in mind. But right now, the heroes in which I have are people that I don't even know most of their names. It would be doctors, nurses, people that put their lives at risk every single day to make the world a better place. I mean, it's really as simple as that. I mean, they sacrifice so much and they risk so much just to help each other out. And really, that's the way that it should be. I think that they're called by God to do their job. And I'm very, very thankful for all of the stuff in which they do, trying to make the world a better place, helping out with the pain, suffering for sure. So I'd say doctors, nurses, military people, and whichever man or woman is able to find a vaccine for this COVID-19, yeah, that would be it as well. I think it's long overdue, and I really hope that we have a cure pretty soon. And I think that we will, but just have to wait and find out. Thank you so much for all of your questions. A lot of great ones as always. Guys, have a fantastic Easter week. Keep those hands clean. Keep your bodies healthy. Keep safe out there. And say some prayers. We need all the prayers that we can get. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.